We got our friend Daniel Erspamer from the Pelican Institute, where they save pelicans. Just that's not what you do, right?
Well, it has that effect over the long term.
Daniel, I can't thank you enough for joining us this morning. And I want to jump right to something I saw yesterday, maybe the day before. Those dastardly Democrats have taken over the House. They're going to be in charge. They're going to run investigation after investigation. Should we be looking for a brutal 4 years, whatever it's going to be?
Boy, I think it's going to be really, really interesting. There's going to be some great political theater happening in our nation's capital. And, it's so interesting. Last time I was on last week, we talked sort of predictions, and I think I think I was close.
Yeah.
Republicans picked up a couple of seats in the Senate, and you have a slim minority now in the House. Look, the judicial nominations that have been so good and everything else, I think, continue. That all happens in the Senate, and we'll see whether what the cat fight on the House, how that nets out, and what the voters think of it.
I also heard, and I asked you that to ask you this, that Steve Scalise is now being mentioned pretty prominently as coming home and making a run for governor. You feel like that could happen?
Gosh, I certainly don't have a magic ball, but I think anything's possible. However, I think if you look at the House map and start to think, okay, well, Steve is popular and among his colleagues, certainly, as well as the voters. And if you think you may have a pathway to moving up in House leadership and, maybe the ultimate Speaker of the House in 2, 4, 6 years, I think that's a hard decision to come back and give that up. So who knows, obviously, and I think he'll look at it. But my bet says he stays in the House.
And Kennedy comes home to run.
It sure looks like it. Senator Kennedy says he'll give us an answer by December 1st. That's just right around the corner. Get your Christmas shopping done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I expect the answer will be yes, but who knows?
Will the Republicans put one guy up?
Doesn't look like it. I think we'll see a few folks. Eddie Risponi, businessman in Baton Rouge, who's been a champion for school choice and lower taxes and some other things.
And a heck of a war chest.
Yeah, absolutely. Said he's going to put his own resources into the race. Has already filed. Certainly, folks expect Senator Kennedy. State Senator Sharon Hewitt in the North Shore of New Orleans has expressed some interest. Certainly, Attorney General Jeff Landry has been in the mix of that. Though it looks like maybe he's sort of helping others at this point. So I don't know. I suspect we'll see more than one Republican in the race, and then we'll see what happens.
Is John Bel Edwards in trouble?
The numbers I have seen suggest that support is soft. He certainly has not done all that much to engender just, big outrage in terms of the folks who voted for him the first time around. But the numbers that I've seen in the polling we've done suggest that he's got a base of support that's pretty solid, but it's more in the 30s than the 50s. And so I think he's vulnerable, and there'll be a lot of attention on this race.
But he's going to raise teacher pay in the spring. And he's going to take care of a lot of other problems. Is that all politics?
Of course it's all politics. If you look at where we've gone, we just came through a brutal 4 sessions in the last year that ended up, if we got to remember this, we walked out of the legislative sessions with $800 million more in taxes than we should have had as of July 1st. Both the income tax increase as a result of federal tax reform, unfortunately, and the sales tax increase that the legislature passed in the waning hours. And so
a lot of people are ticked at what the federal government gave us, he took away.
That's right. Other states where this happened, you saw in Iowa and a couple other places, the legislature rushed back into session in order to make taxpayers whole when this happened. It's a glitch or unintended consequence of the tax code. Of course, here we said, please, God, don't take that money away. And taxpayers are paying the bill for it.
I'm glad you mentioned that. When I file my taxes after the first of the year, what am I really going to see? I'm middle income, doing okay. Don't have any, big write-offs that I can, I take standard deductions. What am I going to see as a Louisiana resident?
Sure. You're going to see, in general, a decrease in your federal tax bill. because of tax reform, they've increased the standard deduction and done some things around that to flatten and make more fair the tax code. Those are the same kind of reforms, by the way, we need here in Louisiana. We can talk more about that, but you'll see a slight bump up in your state income tax. Folks who were having withholding throughout the year in January of this year got a lot of money back.
Yeah.
And then February, the state came back and took a lot of it
And
away.
you should see it on your stub.
Yeah.
Right away.
Oh, I didn't even pay attention to that. I should have looked at that.
This is the downside of direct deposit. We all do it at this
Right.
point, but you don't actually see that number. I love it at our company. The payroll company we use, we get an email every time we get paid.
Yeah.
And it says, "You've been paid." And of course, you open that email.
You've got mail.
And so, but it gives you, okay, here's what you paid in taxes. Here's what
Right.
it looks like, all your deductions. I love it.
Yeah. Can I tie you to the chair? Because I want to talk about the state budget and some of the things that passed with regard to fantasy sports betting and how much money that's going to generate. And then I don't know how much you know about this casino thing in Arkansas and the impact that could have. A lot of local folks are worried about that. Can I strap you to the chair?
You bet.